Good morning. It's been a whole hot minute. Yesterday I tried this. It didn't work out. The alarm went off and interrupted the recording. And I was on a roll too. And then I didn't know how to recover it. And I don't know. It was all the things. So I broke my number one rule. I always say don't let things get in the way of your goals, your dreams, the things you set out. Put it on the list. And what did I do? Life got messy. It got pear shaped. It got sideways. It got upside down in the floor. The plate tipped over. It went right. I mean, just so. And then I had people lined up. I couldn't make it happen. I got defeated. Life was getting in the way. It just was freaking overwhelming. And so much, so much. And like, I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And my podcast is so important to me, so stinking important to me. And I let it be put at the back of the list. Well, I woke up a few days ago and I had a conversation with a friend about like how to give advice to another friend. I had to turn that air conditioner down. Lord baby Jesus, it's not cold these mornings, but I promise I don't need the Arctic blowing in. But it's like mutual person we know has kind of botched a little situation. Not kind of, just full tilt. Blown it all to hell. Hit it with a 20 gauge, okay? I was like, I just don't know what to say. And she's telling me, she was like, I didn't say anything. I just don't know what to say. Just shut up. I just bit my lip. And I was just like, well. And she was like, but I really think she wanted me to like lean in and be like, I don't know. And she said, but I think here's the problem. I think she wants me to be comforting. And I was like, yeah. Because we were talking about all the things that, have gone pear-shaped, sideways, upside down, splattered in the floor. Like the linoleum of life has taken a hit this year. It's got spaghetti sauce on it, okay? Yeah, this is reality. So we're talking about it, and I was like, look, I do agree with you. I do think too many are now wanting us to go, oh, it's okay. Sorry, it's a little froggy. It's not. Oh, Portugal. No, 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 no. Oh, here, let me give you a hug. No, we're not five, okay? We're not five. I'm not Willy Wonka. I don't blow sprinkles up your bum. And I'm not going to put sprinkles on your cupcake. Probably not even going to ice the damn thing for you, okay? I said, but brutal truth is not always what we lead with. I said, I have had to spend years working on that. Like, don't just blurt it out. There's a time and place for that. There is a time and place where you've been gracious and led slowly. And then there's a time when you're like, look, I can't say this any more nice ways. Here it is, sister. But this was not one of those things. And I said, look, we've all dropped our life in the grease. Just dropped it in the grease. Hot grease, watched it burn. Can't find the tongs. We're over here like two twigs trying to get the situation out, right? I said, so at these moments, I think you just need to sit in the living room floor with her, metaphorically. Maybe not metaphorically. Who knows? And extend the grace that no one extended to you. I said, because I find this is the situation. I find the situation to be 9 times out of 10 that people want to point. They always want to point and have a good time with well, you did this. What did you expect? I said, those conversations are best left for your spouse when you're like, well, what the hell did she expect? Or your best friend or whatever, But, and there's a time and place to look at your said friend and go, well, sweetie, what did you think was going to happen? Your child, your spouse, whomever it may be, okay? But there's also a time to metaphorically sit in the floor and be like, is this one of those defining moments? She was like, wow. I said, we all have them. And we're going to have many of them. So many of them. So many defining moments in our life. Ooh, that yellow does not last long, so we're going to wait for it. I said, and defining moments I find in my life, the ones that smack you into reality truly outweigh the really like award-winning ones. So that's why this one is Unfiltered Life. Like, here we are, we're talking about it, and I'm having this moment of like defining moments, sitting metaphorically in the living room floor. There have been a few times this year I have non-metaphorically sat in the floor, basically not in the floor, but on the couch, and actually I have steps into my living room, and I've sat on the steps, so technically in my living room floor, and just had my little moment or moments. Okay, there's been a few moments. Okay, so I find that finger pointing gets you nowhere. Extend a little grace, as long as you can, and then at some point, still don't point the finger. Sometimes you just have to get up and sit at a different table, because life is full of updates, and it comes in waves. People come in waves like the tide. There will be those that are always constant. Have you noticed when you watch the tide roll in, there is that line of shells in the line of sand and things in the sand that is forever there? Like they're just always there, right? And then there is that wave, the Russian, that like ebbs in and out, right? I don't know where this tripper's going, but I love baby Jesus. We're staying behind you. Sorry, second. So like that flow in and out, there's a lot of that in your life. So you don't necessarily have to be the jabby finger chick. You just have to be the one that stays constantly at your own table. Let those move table to table. But I will tell you, if you're ever sitting at that table and it doesn't bring you peace, prosperity, or purpose, get up. Get your ass up. I cannot tell y'all I will not cuss. I will try not to say the really bad words in these things, but there are times in life that I will just tell you, get your ass up from that table. Because you don't have to sit at the table and try to make the mean girls like you anymore. You just don't. It's actually beautiful to be a big kid now. It's fabulous. Yeah! Right? So here's a few life updates. It's blowing and going. We're going to round back with Susie. She lives in Italy now. Holy guacamole. I'm going to round back with my nephews. I'm going to round back with my sister. Oh my gosh, the life changes in her life are just Fantastic. We've got some new people we can get on the podcast. It's going to be awesome. And wait, yeah. So I don't even know what I touched. I was trying to clear something. Jesus, I should not even touch it. And we're going to do this because as I was sitting there and I was talking to my friend about extending grace in these defining moments, I was like, why don't you extend them to yourself? Chicken noodle, doodle, extend some grace in your own. Live your unfiltered life. Speak your own reality. Speak reality into your life. Speak your reality. Live your reality. Because guess what? Don't run from it. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't hide from it. Like, it's okay. And whoever can handle your reality, let them get up and move to another table. Yes, there are situations and there are settings where you put filters on because that's called social graces and manners. But you still are you. And I think we all have forgotten to unapologetically be us. Stop watering yourself down and start living out loud again. Because when you start living your reality, speaking your reality, and stop forcing yourself at tables you don't belong at anymore, you're going to find the tables you were meant to be at. And part of that is extending grace in places you needed it at. It goes hand in hand with the quote I live by: be the woman you needed as a child. But I really think it should be the human you needed as a child. Be the teacher, be the sister, be the wife, be the friend, be the mother, be the wife, whatever. Be the human you needed as a child. Yeah. So advocate for yourself. Be your best friend, but learn to eat alone. That's more than just a statement. This is crazy, but it's one of my favorite sayings, and it's from Tupac. It's not that I don't want you to eat. I just don't want you to eat at my table. So I'm going to walk into my job and have a beautiful day. I wish you all the same, but unfiltered life. Let's do it. And I'm back, and we're going to do this thing.